Hello class, a very warm welcome in today's session. Today's session, we are going to study the exercise of the chapter that is physical quantities and measurement. In our chapter, we have studied about the physical quantity, about the density, about the mass, about the volume, as well as we have studied that how we can measure them, right? Along with that, we have studied some sort of SI unit, and along with that, we have studied the formulas as well. Now, without wasting time, let's get started. The very first question on your screen says that take the most appropriate answer. In this question, you have been given a question with 4 options and you have to select the very correct option, or we can say the very appropriate answer, right? So very first part of the question says an irregular solid which when completely immersed in water. Let me just tell you that I am taking a beaker and in this beaker I have filled it with water. Okay, and I am taking an irregular solid which means that it doesn't have a shape, right? Let's just say something like this. Okay, and when I have immersed this into the water, what happened? The water spilled out from the beaker and the volume of water that spilled out was 10 ml. So now the question is asking that the volume of the solid is what? So it is basically asking that what is the volume of this irregular solid? Option A is 5 ml, option B is 10 ml, option C is 15 ml and option D is 20 ml. So if you can see clearly, when I have immersed the irregular solid into water, it is actually displacing 10 ml of water, which means that somehow the volume of that particular irregular solid will be 10 ml. Okay, so that's why option B will be the correct answer. And we have already studied that whenever we are immersing any irregular solid into a liquid, it will actually displace the volume of that liquid at the amount of the volume which it is containing. Okay, I hope this is clear to you. Now, moving ahead, we have the next question. Which of the following is the SI unit of the relative density? So let me just firstly talk about that what is relative density. But can we just go with the options firstly? Okay, so the first option is kilogram, the second option is meter, the third option is kilogram per meter cube, and the last one is no unit. So I was saying that we are going to talk about firstly that what is relative density. In case of the definition, we have studied that the ratio between the density of a substance to the density of the water at 4 degrees Celsius is actually the relative density of any particular substance, right? So in short, we can write relative density as RD, which is equals to density of a substance upon density of water at 4 degrees Celsius, right? So this becomes the formula. Now the question is asking that what will be the SI unit. So we can derive the SI unit with the help of formula, but in the formula you can see in the numerator it's density and in the denominator it's already the density. So we know that the SI unit of density is kg per meter cube and in the denominator it is again density, so we can write density's SI unit which is kg per meter cube again, right? And when we are going to cancel it out, it becomes 1, which means that there is no unit of relative density. So this is something magical, right? There are some quantities in physics which doesn't have any SI unit, okay? And that's why relative density is unitless. So option D will be the correct answer here, okay? I hope this is very easy to you. Now moving ahead, the relative density is also known as what? Option number A is density, option number B is gravity, option number C is specific gravity, and option number D is mass. So in terms of these all options, it is asking that what is the other name of relative density? Because we know that density will be not the other name of relative density, obviously, because density is mass upon volume, right? And we also know that gravity is something that is the force of the two bodies, the force acting between the two bodies, we can say that, right? So that's why gravity will be also not the correct answer. But talking about the specific gravity, so obviously it will be the correct answer, because we have studied that relative density's other name is a specific gravity. And why is it so? Because we are comparing the density of a substance to the density of water at 4 degrees Celsius. And along with that, when we are substituting the values, like if we are writing density of substance upon density of water at 4 degrees Celsius, and if we are going to substitute the values, density of substance, it becomes mass of that substance upon volume of substance, right? And upon mass of water, I am writing mass W upon volume of water, right? So along with that, it cancels out. Why? Because the volume will be same actually in both cases, right? And then it remains behind mass upon mass of water, and that's why we are calling it as a specific gravity. Okay, we are giving it name as a specific gravity. Okay, so moving ahead, the next one is a device used to measure the relative density of a liquid is known as. Now the device which is we are using to measure the relative density of any liquid, that is known as what? Option number A is thermometer. No, because thermometer is something which is going to measure the temperature of the body or temperature of any substance or liquid, whatever. Next is hydrometer. This is something we have studied, right? So we are considering it after the other options. Let's just talk about barometer. So barometer is something that is going to measure the pressure, atmospheric pressure, right? Then we have spring balance, and if you remember, then spring balance is something that is going to do what? It is going to measure the mass. And now talking about hydrometer. So hydrometer is that instrument which is going to measure the relative density. When we were talking about, or when we were explaining the chapter to you, I have told you that relative density can be measured with the help of hydrometer. So that's why hydrometer will be the correct answer here. Now moving ahead, you can see here that we have the next question: which of the following substances has the greatest density? In case of these all, you can see here, the very first is aluminium, the next one is water, the next one is oxygen, and the last one is air. So it is asking that which one has greatest density. In case of aluminium, so we know that aluminium has some sort of like 2700, around 2700 kg per meter cube, if I'm right, and water has 1000 kg per meter cube. Considering oxygen and air as 1, we can write it as 1.2 kg per meter cube. This is the density of what air, we can say, right? So here you can see clearly that aluminium has the greatest density, and that's why it will be the correct answer here. Okay, I hope this is clear. Now moving ahead, we have which of the following liquids will float on water, and water's density is given here, that is 1 gram per ml. Okay, it is 1 gram per ml if we are talking about kg per meter cube, so it becomes 1000 kg per meter cube. Now the options are: option number A, seawater, density is 1.025 gram per ml. Option number B, honey, density is 1.42 gram per ml. Option number C is gasoline, density is 0.71 gram per ml. And the last option is glycerin, the density is 1.26 gram per ml. So if we are saying that which liquid is gonna float on water, so obviously that liquid must have lesser density than water, right? Water has a density of 1 gram per ml, so it should be less than 1 gram per ml. And in these all options, you can see clearly that gasoline has a density of 0.71 gram per ml, which is lesser than that of water. So that's why option C becomes the correct answer over here, right? I hope this is clear. Now, moving ahead, you can see the next one is the markings on the hull of the ship that indicate the level to which the ship can be submerged in seawater are called: option number A, horizontal lines; option number B, vertical lines; option number C, skew lines; and option number D, plimsoll lines. So we have studied that plimsoll lines are the lines which are going to determine, like it is written, the markings on the hull of the ship that indicate the level to which the ship can be submerged in seawater. Okay, so that is plimsoll lines. Moving ahead, we have the next one: for a given rise in temperature, the increase in density is maximum in the case of. So whenever we are actually increasing the temperature, so density increases in which of the state of matter? Is it for gases, liquid, solid, or none of these? So obviously it is going for gases, because we know very well that if we are filling a gas in a container, the molecules will be far apart, and if we are rising the temperature, so they will be again going far apart, right? But it is actually asking that when we are rising the temperature, the increase in the density is maximum in case of. But actually what happens when we are rising the temperature, the density actually decreases. So that's why the question is obviously confusing, and that's why the correct answer will be none of these. Because in case of gases, if we are rising the temperature, the molecules are going to far apart, right? They are going to move here and there, and that's why the density will be decreased. In case of liquids, it will happen again, and in case of solid, it will happen again. That's why the correct answer becomes none of these. Okay, that is the D option. Now moving ahead, we have the next one, which says in convection currents, hot air moves. Option number A, upwards. Option number B, downwards. Option number C, to the left. And option number D, to the right. When we are talking about convection currents, what happens? That the molecules that are heated up, they just go up, and the molecules that are not heated up, they just come down at the bottom layer, right? So what is happening? The hot air is actually moving upward. That's why option A will be the correct answer here. Right? Moving here, next one says that which of the following natural phenomena takes place due to convection currents. So what are the phenomena that are taking place because of convection currents? Option number A is land breeze. It happens because of convection current. Next one is sea breeze. It also happens because of convection current. Next one is westerlies. It also happens because of convection current. So that's why option number D, that is all of these, will be the correct answer, because all these phenomena happens because of the convection current. Right? Moving ahead, the next question says fill in the blanks. Now there are some sort of blanks here. You have to fill up them with the correct term. First part says the dash of a substance is the ratio of its mass and volume. So when we are talking about the ratio of mass to the volume, that becomes the density of a substance, right? So density of a substance is the ratio of its mass to the volume. Now moving ahead, the next one is a dash is a container with a spout below its top. So what's that? That we are talking about a container. So here it is actually talking about the Eureka can. The next one says a dash, a small bottle with a stopper having a fine capillary tube is used to determine the density of liquid. So when we are actually going to determine the density of liquids, and that particular instrument is consisting of the capillary tube, what that instrument is known as? That is known as the relative density bottle, right? A relative density bottle. A small bottle with a stopper having a fine capillary tube is used to determine the density of liquids, right? Moving ahead, the next one says an iron ball will dash in water. So the iron ball has higher density than that of water. So obviously it is going to sink in water, right? The next one is both liquids and gases are together known as what? So when we are talking about liquids and gases, they can flow easily, and that's why we are calling them as fluids, right? So both liquids and gases are commonly or together known as fluids. Now moving ahead, the next one is icebergs dash in seawater. So when we are talking about seawater is a saline water, right? And saline water has higher density than that of normal water. So obviously iceberg is going to float in seawater because it has lesser density than that of seawater. Okay. After that, a lactometer is an instrument used to test the purity of what? So a lactometer is an instrument which is actually used to test the purity of the milk. Okay. So the answer is milk here. The next one is the relative density of a substance is the ratio of its density to the density of water at 4 degrees Celsius. I have told you that relative density is the density that is the ratio between the density of a substance to the density of water at 4 degrees Celsius. So obviously the temperature is 4 degrees Celsius here. The next one is when a substance is heated, its dash increases. So whenever we are actually heating up any substance, it can be a solid, it can be a liquid, it can be a gaseous substance. So whenever we are increasing the temperature, it is going to expand the volume of that particular substance. So its volume increases, right? This will be the correct answer. Now moving ahead, next one is write true or false. So you have to actually write true or false for the statements given here. The very first statement says the density of gases is more than that of solids. When we are talking about gases and when we are talking about solids, in both cases we have seen that the arrangement of the intermolecular particles are different, right? In gases, the molecules are far apart from each other, and in solids they have a rigid structure. So that's why solid have greater density than that of gases, but it is written that the density of gases is more than that of solid. So that's why it's a false statement, right? After that, the volume of any liquid completely filled in a relative density bottle remains the same. So whenever we are filling any liquid in the relative density bottle, so the volume of that liquid is going to be remain same or not? That's the question that is asked here. So we know very well that whenever we are filling a liquid in the relative density bottle, the volume is not going to remain same, and that's why it becomes false statement. After that, we need to know only the mass of the substance to determine its relative density. Yes, we can easily find out the relative density with the help of mass of the substance. So this is a true statement. After that, kerosene lighter than water. Yes, it is lighter than water because it has a lesser density than that of water, and that's why we can say it is lighter. So it's a true statement. After that, the next statement says the density of a substance is the ratio of its density to the density of water at 4 degrees Celsius. No, density of a substance is the ratio of mass to the volume. The statement that is given here is about the relative density, so it becomes the false statement, right? After that, on multiplying the relative density by 1000, one gets the density of a substance in kg per meter cube. Obviously, you are going to find out the density of a substance in kg per meter cube if you are just multiplying that whole relative density part with the 1000, right? So it becomes the true statement. After that, a body of density 3.5 gram per centimeter cube will float on water. We know that the density of water is 1 gram per ml. And the body that is here, its density is 3.5 gram, which is greater than that of water. So obviously it is going to sink in water, but it is written that it is going to float on water. So that's why this statement is false one. Next statement is asking you the base of the bulb of the hydrometer is filled with lead so that the hydrometer can float in a horizontal position. Obviously it is right. We have studied the structure, so that's why it becomes the true statement. After that, the next statement is convection currents occur due to differences in density in different sections of a liquid or gas. Yeah, actually convection current is happening just because the differences between the density of the liquid molecules or the gaseous molecules that we are taking into a container, right? So that becomes the true statement. After that, a land breeze arises due to the differential heating between land and water surfaces. Yeah, so land breeze is actually arising, as I have told you, in a convectional current. We have some sort of molecules on the upper layer and some molecules on the bottom layer. When these got heat up, they just go upward and these all come down, and that happens in the land breeze as well, and that's why it's a phenomenon of convection current, and that's why it's a true statement, right? Now moving ahead, you can see the next question says match the columns. Here are two columns on your screen. The very first column has some part and the second column has the solutions. You have to match the correct part with the correct solution. The very first part in the first column says mass. Here you can see A is relative density bottle. No, we can't relate mass with relative density bottle. Lactometer, we can't relate that also. Eureka cane, somehow we can just relate mass with the eureka cane, but moving ahead we have physical balance. Yes, the physical balance is something we can accurately relate with mass, right? And then we have convection currents. So option D will be the correct answer because it is more accurate. So one is going here. Next one is volume. Talking about volume, relative density bottle. We can relate that with relative density bottle, but moving ahead, lactometer, no. Then Eureka can, yes, we can relate that, and convection current. So volume can be accurately related with Eureka cane. So 2 goes here. Then we have sea breeze. When we are talking about sea breeze, it is a phenomenon related to the convection currents, right? So 3 goes here. Then we have density of milk. Density of milk or the purity of milk can be measured with the help of instrument, that is lactometer. So 4 goes here, and the last one that is remaining behind is relative density, which can be measured with the relative density bottle. Right? So these are the correct answers for the correct options. Okay, I hope this is clear. Now moving ahead, we have the last question which says circle the odd one out. So here are some sort of words or terms given here. You have to circle the odd one out. In the very first part, we have 2 kg per liter, 100 gram per centimeter cube, 50 mg per millimeter cube, 6 Newton and 0.1 kg per ml. Now, if we are talking about 6 Newton, the unit you can see is different from each and every one, because kg per liter, gram per centimeter cube, mg per millimeter cube and kg per milliliter, these all are the units of density, but Newton is the unit of the force, and that's why this will be the odd one out. Next one says temperature, mass, relative density, weight and density. So now it is going to ask you that which one is different term. Here you can see it is relative density. Mass is relatable to relative density, yes. Density is relatable to relative density, and weight is also relatable to density, right? But temperature is not relatable to any one of them, so that's why temperature will be odd one out. Then we have iron nail, cork, plastic, paper and thermocol. So here we can see that the very largest, or we can say the very maximum density particle here is iron nail, and that's why it's the odd one out here as well. The next one is safety pin, empty polythene bag, metal key, metal lock and stone. These all have, we can say this one, this one, this one and this one has a large density than this one, which has the least density here, which is empty polythene bag. So this will be the odd one out here, that is empty polythene bag. So these are the odd one out from each section here. Okay, I hope you enjoyed the session. So I will just suggest you to revise the whole session. Till then, take care of yourself, keep learning and keep exploring. We will meet soon in the next session. Take care of yourself. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.